Hi. Um, I am revamping this YouTube to include astrology as well as what I know of the Myers-Briggs and my own personal lived experience as an INFJ and as an Enneagram type 4. Something that I want to say right now briefly is about Libra Mars and especially Libra Mars people that have an afflicted Mars and a Mars that's in really hard aspects to outer planets, especially malefic planets like Saturn and Pluto. What I know from my experience is that being Libra Mars, we unconsciously are suppressing a lot of our anger and our rage, our boundaries, which is common. That's, normal for all people to have that, to have that tendency, right? But especially for Libra Mars, what I notice is that when I actually allow myself to have rightful anger, so anger at injustices, anger at lack of balance, anger at lack of diplomacy, anger about wildly off kilter and out of balance power dynamics, I free up so much artistry and flow and acceptance and all of the Libran qualities that I love and I'm drawn to, and I would say as a Libra Mars, I excel in more than someone with different placements, right? So as with anything in life, embracing the opposite and embracing the counterbalance actually allows the other part to shine and thrive and there to be actual functionality. It's sort of like when you're embracing the opposite of something, like you're embracing the masculine energy, let's say, in yourself because you feel stressed and you feel constricted and you feel like you're not enjoying life and feeling pleasure and feeling peace and relaxation and all of these things that's more associated with the feminine energy and a yin energy. Facing head on the opposite, like how do I create the masculine containment for myself so that I can relax? Like how do I work smarter, not harder? How do I structure my life in such a way that I am crossing the T's and dotting the I's and building the house on a proper foundation so that I can go, oh, wow, I'm safe. I did it. Like I've created this structure and safety so that I can relax. So when it comes to Libra Mars and anger specifically, I'm talking about right now, it's like trying to create peace and have peace and harmony without being able and willing and competent enough to look at anger in yourself and others and actually meet it with your whole body and your whole awareness. It's a false, it's a false peace. And that's where, the Libra energy, that's like the shadow side and what can be criticized Libra placements is that they're people pleasers and fake and just keeping the peace. And yes, like that's a part of our, that's a part of our like growing, that we have to go through these, things. But the more that we really understand, like, oh, you know what? I'm not always just selfish and unreasonable and, the shadow side of Aries, like the opposite sign of Libra. It's not always just, oh, that's selfish and that's da-da-da-da-da-da. Actually, sometimes people are in the wrong and you do have an insight into not what people are doing wrong or right and being this moral judgment of people, but you are picking up on actual real like injustice. And there is a purpose in that, like you're not just you know, you're not supposed to just go, well, that's just the way they are and I accept them for how they are, and I'm gonna just, it's not always that. And when you're raised in a codependent system, or you're raised in a family, you know, whatever your early life experiences, especially, so this is what I'm getting at with the Mars being afflicted. So like Mars square Saturn, or Mars square Pluto, or Mars combust the sun, or Mars conjunct something else, like there's something there for you to learn around your own Mars energy and the way that it's connected into harmony and into your relations with other people, maybe in a way where other people don't have that same challenge, or that's not in their chart really to like have to deal with in this lifetime. Mars is also, I think it's in detriment in Libra. I don't think it's in the fall in Libra. I think it's in detriment, but either way, either one, it's not happy there, and it doesn't like being there. It wants everyone to be happy and whatever. It makes you a really good flirt. It makes you really good with romance, and it makes you, I don't know, I feel like you're good with men in a certain way because the Mars energy is more associated with men and the masculine, and so you're in this sort of like, you can be a really good like counselor for men, or you're really good at kind of understanding the feminine energy inside of a man, I find. And that's a whole tangent for another time, but I look forward to talking more about these topics here in this channel. And I just figured, I already had this channel started like way back when, like 15 years ago now, I guess. And so why not just keep it and revamp it? So yeah, Libra Mars, if you are finding yourself feeling that feeling it's like beyond anger, it's not rage, it's like this injustice anger, it's like this anger of like, no, like this is unacceptable. Sometimes that's just is what it is. It's like every part of the human experience is a part of the whole and a part of being a whole person. And so obviously how you deal with those feelings is important. You know, you want to be able to enact change or give feedback or self-reflect and, you know, hold yourself accountable differently or whatever. You want to do all that obviously in a mature, productive, healthy way. I'm not advocating just flying off the handle and being crazy. But it can feel like you're so afraid of doing that because you're not used to doing that. You're not used to having your personhood and your anger validated. And that was probably something growing up that was very much tamped down. And you learned how to people please and suppress. And so we all know that that creates passive aggression and dis-ease in yourself. And so when you can let go of caring what other people think, because the Libra is really good about caring about aesthetics and how you're perceived in your community and your friendships and all of that, to bring that to a higher level of maturity, to realize I care first and foremost how I feel about myself, looking in the mirror and trusting yourself to know that you can have your own checks and balances and embrace the Libra energy with yourself first and be able to admit, okay, I went a little too far there. Okay, I, actually need to say something. I've been hurting myself by suppressing this and sidestepping this, whatever it is. And so when we do that and we don't wimp out and we actually have the courage to sit with our anger and our emotions, that's where we actually are a part of the change we want to see. And that's where we actually are being a part of the community and a part of our friendships and a part of our social circle in a balanced, harmonious way. So yes, thank you for listening. Let me know if you relate to any of that and anything you want to share about Libra Mars, if you have that placement, if there's any aspects to it and how that might resonate. I'm going to make a next video about aspects to Mars and kind of how that feels for me, specifically the squares.